Everyone, this is Xander Breach. This is my weight loss journey, part 8. Before I continue, may I remind you that names will not be mentioned in this video due to the fact that I don't want to get sued. And please be aware of not letting your children watch any of the videos unless you caution yourself with the content that's featured in it. And may I also remind you, this story will go into an example of the importance of why you should focus on your studies more than fitting in. Fitting in is fine, but this will go into that lesson. Now on with the story. School was about to start, and I was starting my sophomore year in high school. May I remind you, the previous year, I had to repeat the 9th grade due to what I went through in Lakeland, which you may remember I mentioned that the school wouldn't let me in. So, on with the story. I'm doing my sophomore year in high school, and before I got enrolled into the school, I remember talking with my niece through adoption. She's the eldest one out of all my nieces and nephews. And I told her, when I get into the school, I'm going to rule the school. You know, being a little cocky, not knowing my adoptive dad was overhearing what I was saying. And she's like, yeah? I'm like, yeah. And she looked at me like, is he really going to do that? I don't think so. Like, gave me that look. So what happened was, as we're heading to the school, my adoptive dad once again gets on my case and says, I hear you telling your niece that you're going to rule the school. You ain't going to rule the school. I'm like looking at him and I'm like thinking, okay, I may not rule the school of what you were thinking, but I am going to rule it a certain way to where I find a way to fit in and become well known. In other words, it's a metaphoric saying I'm going to find a way to become legendary through that school. I'm going to find a way so people never forget who I am. That's what I mean with rule the school. I don't mean like take charge and be a boss. No. And I think that's what his mindset was on. So we get me enrolled, and all I can think about is, okay, I've been a loser most of my life. I managed to fit in my freshman year in high school. Let's see if I can really become something these kids would love. So I go ahead and do that. And before you know it, I'm in school. So here's the plan. I can't really entertain anybody in the classrooms because I got to focus on my studies. So this is what I do. My plan is lunchtime. I'm going to give these kids a concert they'll never forget. I'm going to rap. I'm going to sing. I'm going to do whatever it takes to show these kids I'm the bomb. So, I mean, it didn't really start out like that because I was getting my feel of the school. So lunchtime was normal. But when it came to that PE class, that's when I started spilling the beans. Oh, did I spill the beans. I told a friend of mine that I just met at the time, I told him I like to entertain. I told him a little bit of my talents. And I said, he asked me, what's your name? I looked at him dead in his face. I said, call me Dr. Q. And when he realized I can entertain, he went ahead and called me Dr. Q. Before I know it, that was my nickname. Everyone's calling me Dr. Q. Gossip's going around the school. I'm the entertainer of the school. And before I knew it, bam! I let the worms out of the can, and bam! I'm Mr. Popular. But popularity does come with a price, though. And I'll get to that later. So, next thing I know I'm singing and dancing to almost any clique you can imagine. The country kids, the seniors, the sophomores. I was singing, I was dancing, I was rapping. I was having a fun time. But unfortunately, the teachers didn't like it. And because they didn't like it, they call it my stepmom. I guess they weren't all too into what I was doing. Giving the kids something to do during lunchtime. Who would have thought? Stepmom finds out. She says, "You are not to do that anymore. Do you hear me?" But did I listen? No. I certainly did not. I did not care. I wasn't going to let teachers stop me from being an entertainer. Let me remind you that. I did not care. Ruin my fun. You're not going to be too happy. I will annoy you. I will aggravate you. I will get underneath your skin. And that's exactly what they did. They got annoyed. They're calling up my parents. They're saying, "Oh, he's dancing in the lunchroom. Oh, he's singing. Oh, he's rapping." It got to the point they called my adoptive dad. And a secret I've been keeping from the man finally got revealed. The man found out, the man found out I was rapping. And when he did, he looks me dead in the face and he says, "I hope you're not rapping." And I'm looking at him lying, saying, "No, I'm not." He's like, "Good." Pouring down his hot NA beer down the sink. And I'm like thinking, this man really needs to understand how the latest lingo is in high school. You see, my adopted dad hated hip-hop music. He hated it so bad, at the time, he wouldn't give Christian hip-hop a chance. This man hated it. And me rapping got underneath his skin and annoyed him. I loved annoying him. As much as he annoyed me over the years, this was my way of saying, "You should have not done what you did. Now you see how I feel." He cries over spilled milk. And one time I got so sick of it, I got angry and I said, "I do not know why you have to cry over spilled milk." He gets mad and he says, "Oh, you little S. I'm going to cry over spilt milk," or basically he said, "I get mad over the little things because it turns into a big thing." I'm like, dude, don't stress the small stuff. So, you see where it's going now in the story. Teachers are mad. My adoptive dad is mad. My stepmom's mad that I have inadvertently become a high school entertainer to all my friends. And furthermore, I didn't care. May I remind you that. My rebellious streak, I have to say, it was fun. One time, hanging out in the bleachers, outside, away from the teachers, some girls wanted to see my abs. By that time, I was in shape. I already shaved myself up, even though my stepmom said no. And I showed it to them. I mean, what good would it hurt? I'm not taking my whole shirt off. Teachers didn't expect a thing. I got away with it clean like a bandit. Not my proudest moment, considering I was 19 and they were minors. But you look at it this way. I was Mr. Popular. I gotta find some way to get the girls, even though I couldn't date them at the time because I didn't want to go to jail for statutory rape. I had girls flirting with me left and right. I'd hardly look my age. I looked like I was their age. I looked like I was 16 years old, having the time of my life. I entertained so many people. Seniors got wild. They're like asking me continuously, getting loud in the lunchroom and saying, "Do it, do it, do it." One girl, I remember, she had a crush on me. She was sitting at a table and she was somewhat of what you see in the movie Mean Girls. If you've seen that movie before, that was a good movie. But she was like one of the plastics, but a little different. So I'll get to her, talking about her later. And please keep in mind, as the fun continues, I was just out of control. One time I remember rapping against one of my friends. And if I recall correctly, this friend I had, he was one of the best rappers there was on freestyling. He beat me the first time. Second time round of ago, he was rapping from paper. I rapped from the dome. I ended up beating him the second time. First rap battle I ever won. Every other rap battle I got into, lost. But did I give up? No, I didn't. Because you know what I thought? I had fun. And that's the important thing when you're entertaining people, is having fun. I continued on with the charade, entertaining my friends and driving the teachers crazy. But I did realize I have to get away with something before I leave that school. I had to do something absolutely crazy, absolutely insane before walking out of that school. And my question to you is, before I end this, I'm going to leave you with a cliffhanger. Did I get away with it, or did I not get away with it? Because this is going to lead to part 9. Part 9, I will reveal the answer to that question. But until then, that's my question to you. Did I get away with it, or did I not get away with it? Okay? So please, do me a favor and place your vote in the comments and tell me what you think, and the answer will be given to you in part 9. I want to thank you for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you again in part 9. Thank you, and God bless. Bye.